You're watching women's college basketball on ESPN as it's a matchup of the last two MAC tournament champions as Fairfield, on the strength of a 10-game win streak, welcome in Iona University, coming off of an emphatic victory against Marist last Saturday. Take a look at the standings coming into tonight's action. Fairfield top of the league right now with a perfect 4-0 slate in the MAC. Meanwhile for Iona, that win against Marist gets them out of the bottom three, and the Gales are currently trying to get themselves up the conference standings. And welcome inside the Leo D. Mahoney Arena, everybody. I'm JJ Duke. Kate Abramowicz is with me, and Kate, Fairfield has won 10 games on the bounce, tied for sixth most in terms of consecutive wins in all of women's basketball. This is a team that's just thriving on this good energy right now.
Yeah, and it's great to be home after that Buffalo trip that they just had, which was successful, 2-0 up in Buffalo, but happy to be home, back on their home court. Hopefully we'll have a great crowd on hand.
A lot of scores from those games, but for Iona, an outstanding score in their own right in that victory against Marist, and that is the outstanding guard in Natalia Okamazuri. Now, Okamazuri put together a career-high performance of 38 points against Marist, 12 of 17 from the floor, and Kate, that's the highest mark of anybody in the MAC.
Absolutely. She's a 5'8 guard that can do it all. She'll run this team. She can shoot the three. She can go full court. She'll put on great defensive pressure as well.
Meg Anderson recently named the National Freshman of the Week after that impressive weekend up in Buffalo, 30 points against Niagara, and also a high figure against Canisius.
And boy, is she playing with a ton of confidence right now, averaging 18 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, an impressive 55% from the floor, 43% from the three-point line.
She can do it all. She can score from the outside, she can score from the inside, and she can dance like no one's watching. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and opening tip next on ESPN+. Well, Fairfield women's basketball, one of the hottest teams in the country right now, and really no surprise when you look at how their season has started this season. 12-1, their lone loss to Vanderbilt on the road. Fairfield have won 10 consecutive games, which is the co-sixth longest active streak in all of Division I basketball after sweeping Niagara and Canisius on the road last weekend. And for the first time in program history, Fairfield receiving votes in the AP poll. And Kate Abramowicz, for someone that has played in this program, it's something sensational to see Fairfield listed amongst historically some of the best teams in program in all of women's basketball history.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I've had people calling me, I've had people texting me, you know, how exciting it is and how exciting it is for the girls to watch. And so, you know, of course, you know, give credit to this coaching staff who came in and is building something really, really special, building the foundation. And in a short period of time, really, just coming in only after coach's second year, building something really, really strong.
Yeah, every couple of weeks I host a podcast with Fairfield's head coach Carly Thibault-Dudanis, and she spoke about it, saying that it is something that the staff did strive for even early on the season. Yes, it's an ambitious goal, but first off, if you're not planning to be ambitious and set lofty standards, and well, this is me speaking, what's the point? You want to be the best that you can be. What a back cut by Anderson, but it's going to be a charge as no basket. Good step up there by Noah Givon. Will be going the other way as Anderson picks up the foul, but your coach Thibault-Dudanis said something the staff set out for once that they all got here. It's not just good enough for their standards to be good in the MAC and to win the league, but they want to do something that's recognized nationally. They did admit that, yes, maybe it's come a little bit too quickly, but you know what? She was optimistic bringing in the group that she had during in the summer, and was saying that, yeah, you know what, if we get into our systems, we find that early groove, we can be really good. Well, guess what? They're really good. As both of the teams, albeit tonight, have struggled a little bit to score, though Katie Lamoureux knocks it in. Though it looked like she might have got inadvertently stepped on there, releasing it, but Lamoureux is now 2 of 3 from deep.
And I think just to touch on your point, you know, now that they are getting there quicker than they want to, now they can start understanding, well, how do we handle this, right? And I know you've talked in your podcast about how do you handle it not only within the student body, within the, you know, faculty, within the university, but also, you know, nationally, right? How do you handle that national recognition? And it's something that they're working on.
I mean, it kind of almost comes at a perfect but strange time as a foul off the Maya Zaccanini three is off the mark. all this was coming when the team went home for the holiday break.
Right.
So not only are you seeing this on social media, you get asked about it, not just by your family, but even in passing, your former high school teammates say you all meet up and everyone's talking about you, these being Fairfield players. You know, what's it like to be getting votes in the national poll? You have to hear it. But the beautiful thing about this Fairfield team is they kind of always check their egos at the door. It's very cliche, but they're always working for each other and working hard to just strive to this common goal. And when you have that mindset, who knows what you can achieve. As a foul gets called off the ball. The previous foul was on D'Angelo. That one's on Maya Zaccanini, a local product of Zaccanini from Waterbury, Connecticut. Played at Holy Cross High School. As Kendall Magruder goes behind the back, spins through the lane, kicks it out to Nicoletti Leite. A three is good.
There it is. There it is, JJ.
The person to my right, Kate Abramovich, is a big, in fact, could be the founding member of the Isa Nicoletti Leite fan club, but you've always been an advocate for her to shoot the ball, and she has really brought in this dual mentality of be that pass-first guard, but the pressure, and we've spoken about a bit of this. Last year, this Fairfield team, it felt like the upper-class players needed to carry the load.
Right.
Now, everyone can carry the load, and, well, any scoring just follows. And count the basket there for Sierra D'Angelo fighting her way to stopping a 6-0 run for Fairfield.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's such a great point because last year she was thinking she had to come in and be this big scorer. She is an upperclassman, so she brings that leadership. She brings that experience. Now, as you were saying, anybody can have a 20-point night. She doesn't have to do it. Janelle Brown doesn't have to do it. So she can kind of play her game. And their coaches are actually looking at her to distribute more, to get people involved, and the players know that. So everybody can just kind of relax, let her play the game, but she still, in my opinion, needs to be a threat.
Yeah, and
right?
You saw that little graphic right there, and the biggest part of what her threat was that 2 games ago, Niagara on the road, where it was a large lead for Fairfield. It started to get chipped into. Niagara had it to within 5 possessions with 4.5 minutes to go. Nicoletti Leite comes up with a quick 8 points to steady the tide and pretty much negate any further potential comeback for the Purple Eagles. So the former Florida State Seminole and also former McDonald's High School All-American, she knows when the moment calls, she'll step up. As Fairfield force a turnover, is Zaccanini, a couple of miscues here. That's a foul and a turnover for her in a couple of minutes on the floor. And we're inside the final 80 seconds of the period. Fairfield shooting 5 of 15, Iona just 2 of 10. High-low, but too tall for Carly Fisher. And for Fairfield, that is now their 5th turnover of the quarter. And for Kendall Magruder, that's her 2nd already, as Fairfield will deploy a bit of full-court pressure.
We always talk about, you know, if your offense is struggling, if you're not hitting the shots, go back to your defense, right? Play solid defense, get the easy steal.
As done right there, Janelle Brown influencing a tough pass. Nicoletti Leite, bit of contact, count the basket. As Kate, you said, it starts with pressurized defense. Brown forces an errant pass, and Nicoletti Leite playing downhill, going hard of the hoop.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the energy that they're looking for, right? They need something to pick themselves up. They get an easy steal here. Nicoletti Leite goes in for their and one.
As Isa, who scored as many as 24 points in the game last year on the road at Binghamton, now getting herself up to 6. Oh, by the way, she's a very cool customer at the free throw line last year, and that strange finish with technical fouls at the end of the game against Mount St. Mary's. She had to step up with basically everybody in the gym watching and knocked a few in. Lauren Beach forces a turnover, also going straight to the hoop, misses. Fisher with the offensive rebound, but Oberylova jars that loose. That's a couple of quick turnovers for Iona just getting across midcourt. As now Ella Fajardo will slow things down. Iona 3 turnovers in the game's last 1 minute and 15 seconds. There's a 4-second differential gain to shot clock here. Zaccanini will cross up, does so again. Maya gets one off, and that's a great job right there by the youngster, knowing that Magruder is likely to extend, so she'll get herself to the line, does the Holy Cross High School product. 4-time All-Naugatuck Valley League honoree, a couple of times All-State, and also, by the way, a champion in a couple of sports, soccer and basketball. I could speak to this from knowing not the only outstanding soccer player in the Zaccanini family, her cousin Emma, a 5-year standout at UConn.
Oh, nice.
Well, Coach Chamiwa will be happy just to see a few more points on the board and nearly a clean possession after Iona struggling in their last few trips up the floor. Maya gets pulled, which is good for her as well. Has struggled a little bit to score over the course of the season, shooting at just 19%. Lamoureux sees a couple of players tangle, extra pass to Magruder, good if it goes in and out. And Kendall with a wry smile saying, I did everything right, that ball's gotta go in. Nonetheless, after 1 quarter of play, it's Fairfield 16, Iona 8. You're watching women's college basketball here on ESPN+. But she wanted to come to a program that was building something, coming to a team that hungry for success. You look like Emina Selimovic, who has experience in the MAC at Siena. Could have gone elsewhere,
Sure.
but came to Fairfield. And you know, there's plenty of other stories, even for some of the returners. Lauren Beach dealing with upper body injuries. She takes on a captaincy role and just looks like a renewed player. Unique Drake trying to renew the offense for her. That's her second made field goal of the night in 10 trips. Excuse me, 10th field goal attempt, 2 made. You get the point.
Yeah.
As 2 more on the other way for Meg Anderson.
Listen, really impressed with Meg Anderson, who finishes her left hand. That's hard for a post player to do, but she runs the floor and she finishes lefty.
Katie Lamoureux picking up her 3rd personal. She will step aside with Fisher. From watching Fisher walk off, she's not really moving that left shoulder all that much from that tie up early on in the quarter.
Janelle pleading her case to Coach Thibaut Dudonis. I didn't touch her, which sometimes that happens. It's like when you have an inadvertent trip, they have to call it. Unfortunately, she goes back to the bench.
Well, you and I were talking before the game, Kate, about how the balance that Fairfield has is a nice offensive rebound by Gideon, but couldn't get the putback to fall. Last year, if it wasn't Callie Kavanaugh scoring, which Kavanaugh did it to the tune of better near 16 points per game, that Brown almost, it felt like she had the pressure to go out and score. It just doesn't feel like she has to put the pressure on herself because she knows that she's got players 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup that can do the job, and she can just play through her system.
Yeah, and I think that's a big point for her this year that I've seen in this early season is she's allowing the game to come to her, which allows her to relax a little bit, right? She doesn't have to press to score. She doesn't have to press to run the offense. She doesn't have to press to play the defense. She's got other players that will complement her and let her do her thing. You've got, I mean, look at Lamoureux knocking down threes. You got Gallagher, as you said, the experience. Meg Anderson, a freshman. I mean, there's all different kinds of lineups that Fairfield can go with, and Janelle can kind of just let the game come to her.
Even then, on a tough night for Brown, in 10 minutes, still 7 points and an assist. So, yeah, you'll have the 4 personals be one thing, but she still found a way to contribute. As Drake goes 1 of 2 from the line, but Lauren Beach inadvertently had her heel out of bounds, so it'll be possession with St. John's. 7:26 left to go here. Red Storm will go back home to take on a very talented Rhode Island program on Sunday before their conference opener against Villanova next week. And you need moments like that from Unique Drake as she becomes the 2nd Red Storm player in double figures. And here goes the full court pressure. Anderson picks up her dribble in an awkward place, but Lamoureux flashes, and I'm even surprised to see that St. John's didn't try to double Lamoureux in an awkward spot.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's your 3rd defender is that half-court line.
Fairfield late to set up their offense. It goes to Beach. 5 on the clock. Lamoureux inside. Anderson, tough collection, steps through with one. That's composure right there from Meg Anderson.
Absolutely. She held that position on the low block. And again, Lamoureux knew she was going to her, looked her defender away and got it down low.
Anderson up to 15 points as Mayo's jumper off the mark, but a foul on Fairfield off the ball as Anderson gets called for the clip on Gideon.
Again, the no-look pass there to Meg Anderson down low.
And I love that, by the way, the end of the replay, big smile.
Yeah, well, they've had that connection all game.
Well, Anderson made her debut here on this court, putting up 19 against Division III Lehman College, looking like she's probably going to do the same thing again here tonight. And again, here comes that full court pressure. Drake, though, inadvertently slips after forcing the turnover.
And here's where you got to see what St. John's is made of, right? They've got 6 minutes to get it down.
And Fairfield ahead of the pack. Lamoureux turned into traffic but scores anyways, and kind of landed a little awkwardly as well. But Katie into double figures. Credit Nicoletti Leite with the touchdown pass. Mayo flips it into the corner. Owen, corner 3 off the mark.
Again, Fairfield guards at the top doing nice exchanges, switches on all those screens. Little mismatch here with Anderson out top.
Lamoureux driving kick. Anderson 3 off the iron. Good tip by Gideon. And now Drake on a one-on-one. Unique Drake couldn't get the roll. But ripping it right back is Mayo. That's tough. Bernaya Mayo making things happen.
That's tough. You had 3 St. John players surrounding Nicoletti Leite.
Anderson. Nicoletti Leite, who had that long distance connection to lead Lamoureux. I think he's a little hard done that she didn't get that assist, by the way.
Yeah.
I know Katie took about 5 steps, but that was all Nicoletti Leite. Lamoureux step back heave off the mark, and it's a shot clock violation. But Fairfield racing ahead of the pack here as Nicoletti Leite leading it for Lamoureux, who's now in double figures with 10 points, stacks up by 12.